Hey, what's up, guys? Scavenger Reviews here, and I was about to head to bed, but I figured, you know what? Before bed, let me crank out a video. Better than cranking out other things, am I right? Anywho, I just wanted to talk about, since it's spooky season and Halloween in about 30 minutes. I'm excited. What time is it? I don't know what time it is. But anywho, The Strangers, 2009. Is not necessarily the scariest movie. Come on, you can come up of all time. It's got its spooks and startles, but I definitely say it's not that scary. That being said, it is one of the most impactful movies. Just come on. I hate when cats do that thing. Say hello to my cat. Anyways, I hate when cats do that thing where they just look at you thinking about jumping up on your lap for like 45 minutes. Anywho, yes, hello, I see you. Yes, you want. Yes, yes, yes. Anywho, The Strangers 2009, first of all, is so much better than The Strangers Chapter 1. I can't speak to like Chapter 2, but like Chapter 1 being just a straight up remake of it and stuff, Chapter 1 fucking sucks, bro. It sucks as a remake. It sucks as an original movie. It sucks as a anthology. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to classify it as, it doesn't matter. It sucks, dude. It's just a bad movie. You can see my TV in the little corner right there. Anyways, it's just a bad movie. I just did not like it. I think, and that seems to be the reigning opinion of pretty much everyone. And the fact that this is supposed to be like a three-part series, and I heard like chapter 2 isn't even that good. I'm not even sure if it's out. I don't. Well, I know it's out, but I don't know if it's like out to buy or on streaming yet. But I'm not buying that shit, bro. I did buy chapter 1, and I ended up giving it away. I was like, I don't even want this. Anywho, enough dogging on later movies. That first one is very slow. It's a slow burn. It's a very, you know, um, well, slow burn. I was trying to think of some other, smart cinematic way of saying it, but that's about it. Um, and you don't get a whole lot at the beginning. You just, most of it's just implied. You get Liv Tyler and then what's his face? I don't know the actor's name. I just know Liv Tyler. Um, and they're coming back from like this thing, and that's super awkward, and clearly it was supposed to be a super romantic night. Yada yada yada. Watch the movie. I'm not gonna go for it, do it like beat by beat, but when you get to the moment where like there's that girl knocking on the door and stuff like that, and she's like, "Is Tamara at home?" And then you get like the startling through the movies. I mean, through the movie. And I also wanted to say that I definitely watched this movie probably way before I should have. Like, it came out in 2009, and I think I watched it when I was either like 10 or maybe like, yeah, no, I think I was like 10 or 11. 12 at the latest, but I think it was 11. Get your tail out of my face, God. Anyways, I watched it way too early, way before I should have been watching it. But that being said, it's not too scary of a movie. And I watched it like a champ, because there's like hardly any gore. You get like the characters will get cut by stuff, and stuff like that, but there's like really no gore except for like, I'm just gonna spoil it. Okay, so I'm gonna spoil the whole movie. Go watch it. If you actually are going to go watch it, then that's the end of the review. And yeah, I've been Scavenger Reviews. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to spoil the movie in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're still here. Anywho, um, when he straight up shoots his best friend. Like, holy shit, dude, that's awful. Because like this is peak, action, and like the strangers are attacking them, and this dude who's like never used a gun before, like, and I'm not making fun of him saying that. I mean like literally, and like in the movie, in the script, he's never used a gun before because he doesn't know how to load it and stuff. And he like props the gun up, aiming at the doorway, and he's like waiting for one of the strangers, and we think it's gonna be like the baghead guy. And then it turns out it was his friend who was checking on him because he couldn't get a hold of him, I think, if I remember correctly. But he couldn't get a hold of him, so he came to check in on the house and then saw like all the, stuff was like destroyed and messy and stuff like that. And it's literally like one of those scenes where somebody walks past the doorway and then he shoots before like anything, anyone could react or whatever. And it ends up being his best friend. And like, oh my god, dude. And this is, like, I'm gonna sound like such a boomer here, but movies nowadays are so like, spoiled. Like you have like so much gore, so much, viscera, so much action and climax. Nothing's willing to like wait around and, build, and stuff like that. And like even though it is nowhere near like the goriest thing, it's like it's such an impact because it's so real, like the movie is so real, and like when he gets shot and you see it, and like you see him like reacting to shooting his friend and realizing he shot his friend, and then like he starts to cry and stuff, like, which honestly, valid, dude, valid, but like because there's not that much gore in the movie, it hits that much harder when it does show up. It's like holy cow, holy crap, this is real. This is not taking things for granted. Not taking things easy. You know, and there's definitely a certain art to like the exact opposite, not being a slow burn and showing as much as you can. And like I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and I mean like the later ones. The first one is kind of a slow burn, which I like. But anyways, I like Texas Chainsaw. I like, well, the Terrifier movies. So I think the Terrifier movies are pretty good. But movie goes on. This, they run here, they hide there. Yada yada. And it's the end of the movie that I want to talk about. Again, major spoilers, but it's the end of. Will you stop standing directly on my chest? I'm like sick, and you know that like crux like right between your pecs, like where like that soft spot is. I don't know why I had to poke it to show you guys. Not to mention, not to mention, I'm like fucking sick as a dog. I better be not sick for I mean, not Christmas, Halloween, dude. I'm going out no matter what. I don't care. I don't care if I'm sick. I'm going out. Anywho, yes, yes, I do love you. The end of the movie, right? This is the shit that shook me to my core. Like I said, I saw this when I was like 10 to 11 years old. I think I was 11. And it formed my worldview. That's how impactful of a film this was. It formed my worldview of like what I'm afraid of, because I'm not afraid of ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts. I'm not afraid of demons. I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in angels. I don't believe in supernatural. Like, do I watch those movies and do they spook me sometimes? Yeah, sure, sure. Like, The Conjuring's scary as shit, bro. But, like, it's scary because, it knew how to be a good film and it built that tension and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I don't have nightmares about The Conjuring, though. I don't have nightmares about, like Paranormal Activity is, like, a really good series and stuff. And I love those movies. And do they have some spooky moments? The first three do, and maybe the fourth one. I can't remember how far I get in before I start disliking them. I'm pretty sure I like 1 through 4, and by the way, 4. Anyways, Whereas when you start getting to like 5 and it's like fucking 9 or something plus a reboot, I don't know. Anywho, I'm not afraid of supernaturals, because I don't believe in it. I I need proof, and that goes with everything. Like I just said, I don't believe in angels or demons either, and you know because I need proof. You know what I do believe in, and I say this every single time, because I don't believe in Bigfoot or whatever. You know what I do believe in though? Dolphins. I can go to a zoo. I can see a dolphin. I might even be able to pet the dolphin if it's like a really cool zoo. You know what else I believe in? Cats. Can't really see her, but I believe in cats. I believe in physical things. I'm exaggerating for the sake of like comedy, but well, not really comedy, but making a point. But I believe in real things. You have proof. I have proof that cats exist. I have proof that dolphins exist, even though I've never seen a dolphin in real life. You know, I don't have proof that angels, demons, Bigfoot, or the boogeyman exist. You want to know what is real though? People. Fucking people. And if you're anything like me, then you've watched enough horror documentaries. I don't know why I had such a list there. Enough horror documentaries. But anyways, to know that there is no depth to the evil that like humanity can possess. Because we can make monsters in movies all day, but they'll never come close to the things we actually do. You know, because at the end of the day, like the monsters in movies are just that. They're monsters in movies. They're not real. Whereas the depths of things that we'll do to each other, that's what terrifies me. That's what's horrifying. I have a fear of home invasion. I keep a weapon in every room of my house. In this room right here, I have a knife right there. Okay. And then not to mention I have some pepper spray. No, pepper gel. It's like pepper spray, but like it's gel, so it's even more like fuck you. I have a knife right there, pepper spray right there. The kitchen, I have obviously a couple kitchen knives, but I also have a knife on my microwave, a knife on my kitchen. I mean, a knife on my fridge. In my bathroom, I only have one knife, but that's in my bathroom closet. I might put one in like the mirror, like the mirror cabinet thing, medicine cabinet. Yeah, yeah. And then in my bedroom, I have a fucking gun. I'm fucking strapped. You don't like just so. In any case of a home invasion, say I'm in the bathroom, doesn't matter. I've got a weapon on me. I'm in the kitchen, doesn't matter. I've got a weapon on me. Bedroom, living room, wherever I'm at, I can defend myself, and that is due in large part to this movie, because going back to, I'm afraid of real people because real people exist. The end of the movie, this is after a whole night of like torturing and terrifying these people and stuff like that. They've got the two of them tied up to chairs, and like Dawn is studying in, and usually like in movies, Dawn is like, hey, we survived, you know what I mean? Like I brought up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that, I don't know why I said Monday. I don't know if it was a Monday or not. But anyways, that morning glow, is signaling like, hey, I have a chance to escape, and she jumps out the window and runs off, and she escapes in that morning glow, you know. Whereas this movie, Strangers 2009, that morning glow, they're still captured, they're still gonna die. It's, like a subversion, because the one girl like picks up the knife and she stabs the boyfriend, who, what sucks is like, it was revealed at some point in the film. I'm not I haven't watched it for like I did actually watch it a few months ago, but anyways, that she was going to propose, or he was going to propose. Anywho, stabs the boyfriend, kills him. So it's all sad and like, boohoo. And Liv Tyler, again, I don't know like the character's name. I know the actress's name. Liv Tyler, she asks, that, that every horror movie question, of like, why are you doing this to us? And she's crying and asks that question, why are you doing this to us? And the one lady with the mask, she's like knelt down and like in front of her, about to kill her. And you know what? And you want to know what she says? She just looks her in the eyes and says, "Because you were home." Shook. Fucking shook. Little kid me. Like, there isn't a motive. They didn't know those people. They didn't know those people. They didn't have a like revenge. It wasn't like they, screwed them over. You know, they didn't know those people. They killed them because they were home. And because they were in the middle of nowhere, but most of that first thing. And like, fuck, dude. And that's real. Like, that fucking happens. Look up like murder cases and watch like documentaries and stuff like that. People like whenever like you get the rare exam. Oh, cool, different lighting. Now we're in bisexual lighting. Anywho, people like the few times where like there is a chance to interview like the killer, the assaultant, and stuff like that. That's how they talk. They're like they were an easy target. They lived alone, which I live alone, so like hello, spooky. But anyways, they were an easy target and they were home. And that's all it takes. And that shook me. You know. Like I said, I was 11, dude. You know. 12 at the latest. I was 11. And that shaped my worldview and like what I'm afraid of. And I keep a weapon in every room of my house because The Strangers 2009. So, kudos to the director, the filmmaker, all the people, all the actors, like, good job, guys. Like, holy cow, it shook me. Anyway, so, my phone's about to die. I've been Scavenger. You know what to do, all the like, comment, subscribe. You can find me on Instagram at Scavenger Reviews. And that'll be about it. Yeah, man. I just really like and let's see, let me check the time. Yep. Happy Halloween, guys. It's Halloween. This video go up like sometime like tomorrow, but I've been Scavenger Reviews. Catch you on the next one, and happy Halloween.